helping your family stay well. Every day, count on Latrice Curry for Eye on Health reports each Thursday, only on Channel 3 Eyewitness News, live at 5.
Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds holiday jewelry sale now through December 23rd.
So David and I were talking about how much easier it tends to be to have a little bit more of a stress-free lifestyle as your kids get older, but we both remember quite well what it's like to have little ones around, and this time of year can be kind of hectic for moms and dads because you're trying to get the shopping done, wink wink, and deal with the kids' excitement and what seems to be maybe an ever-increasing materialistic demand. So who better to bring in than Julie Baumgardner at First Things First to help calm us all down and remind us of what our kids really need. Good to see you this morning.
Great to see you.
So, I mean, don't you think it's true? David and I were talking about how the older we get, the easier it is to be a little bit more go with the flow. But when you're really raising your children, this most wonderful time of the year can be very frustrating. Don't you think, Julie?
Oh, yes. And I could speak from lessons learned and just also from talking to a lot of other people that we tend to put a lot of pressure on ourselves. We want to try and get our kids what they say they want. And we just want the whole holiday experience to be special. And so sometimes with finances and the stress and pressure that we put on ourselves to get out and make things happen can be very overwhelming, and in the end kind of leave us, I think, wanting when it comes to holiday season.
So you were saying with me that it's a good time to kind of remind our kids, once again, that age-old lesson, there's a difference between a need and a want, right? So what is it that you really need at Christmas? And you're not talking about socks.
No, and I've had lots of friends who've done very cool things like something to read, something to wear, something to play with, and I think all that's great. And I'm not so sure. I do think it's powerful to have a discussion about. There's lots of things we want. Maybe it's nice to put one thing that you want and then perhaps some things that you need. I also feel like for parents, it's important to think about the fact that what our kids say that they want may not necessarily be what they really, really want. I think this is especially hard year, and so we might lean towards trying to get them extra things. I think probably the most beneficial thing, and research plays this out over and over, the thing that is most beneficial is you. So creating experiences, a scavenger hunt. I remember one year, I felt like I could not figure out what to do for our daughter. Everything I brought up, no. You get to that age. And so I just decided, I contacted a whole bunch of people that know her from school, from church, neighborhood, just friends. And I said, would you just write her a note and make it encouraging? Tell her what you see in her, or things that, like, gifted areas that you see in her. If you could call that out, that would be awesome. And they were willing to do that. And then I put together this book, and it turned out beautiful, and it is something that she has kept. I did it for her when she was young, and she has kept it through the years. So something like that, even a video, something from the grandparents, speaking life, pouring life into your kids. I just got frustrated with seeing things that I had purchased that they said, oh, I can't live without, I gotta have this.
Right.
And you find it in the corner somewhere or thrown in the closet or whatever. I'm like, what? I killed myself to get that.
Right. I remember one year Emily wanted a Wonder Woman doll. She was like 5 or something. She wanted a Wonder Woman doll. And Mark was out like that movie Jingle All the Way, every shop looking for one. Christmas Eve. Anyway, Christmas morning came and we watched with anticipation as she opened up this $8 Wonder Woman doll. And she went, oh, there was just nothing. There was no need for it.
Oh no, you better be playing with that because we killed ourselves to get that. Yeah.
Okay, so I was talking to somebody. I think this is going to be a very difficult year for a lot of people watching, and I have been there in my life when the money was tight, and I would begin, in October thinking, how am I going to stretch $10? I've been there. And as a parent, it's really, really hard because you're not really giving because you want to be materialistic. You're giving because it's fun to bring joy. But I was talking with someone the other day, Diane Tobin at the Spice and Tea Exchange. She's a mom of 10, and she had done this very thing as a stay-at-home mom to gather up the Christmas right on a budget. And she hid it in a barn that they had out their house in Vermont. And her husband unintentionally was cleaning out the barn early December and threw everything away. Right? You can't get that back. And so what could Diane do but being the good mom that she is? And she would do things like wrapped up peppermints and told her children that this was a gift because they were so sweet to her. Or wrapped up a picture of something she wished she could have gotten for them, but now she couldn't. But what her kids remembered was that their mom cared enough to still make Christmas fun.
Well, and you know what? That's such a great point and an important thing for us all to remember. I guarantee you those kids remember that Christmas, and not because it was the worst Christmas ever, but because it was a different Christmas. And I think that's what we have to remind ourselves about. We have the opportunity. We can make coupons for our kids. We can even sit down and say, hey, this year is different. We have faced some challenges, and the great thing is that we have a roof over our head and we have food to eat. And so we're all going to be creative, and what we give each other this Christmas, we're all going to make, or we're going to write, but nobody's buying any presents for anybody. We're going to have, and we're going to get creative. I have done that myself. I have friends who have done it, and we often go back to that was one of the hardest times and one of the most special memories. I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't ask for it, but I wouldn't trade it. And
maybe we only have like a minute or two left, but maybe too, if you are somebody who's been blessed this year and not had a financial setback, but your kids have friends whose parents have, maybe remind them not to go posting a whole bunch of stuff and kind of bringing up what they got, because it's hard for the kids who might be dealing with what you're discussing.
Well, and if you're one that has been blessed and you have the opportunity to bless others, there's nothing more fun than playing Secret Santa.
No kidding.
For kids. And you don't ever have to tell. You can just bless people. And I think that makes it special too. And it's an experience that you share, parent and child. And that's powerful and memorable forever.
Well, you bless us with your smile, Julie Baumgardner. And so thanks for sharing some time. Your tree's beautiful.
Thank you. I'm enjoying it.
You can always learn more about the great things they have to offer your whole family by going to firstthings.org. Sage advice and videos for you to see on their website, and always upcoming events that you can take advantage of as we do head in to 2021. There's always hope. 267-5383, their phone number. We're back after this.
The Voice on Channel 3 is sponsored locally by Crystal, bringing back a down-home favorite.